Well, good morning, everybody. Bob Allen here for Meet the Candidate. And today, in our Food Share studio, we are very privileged to have Vince Behrens, who is a candidate for City Council in the city of Oxnard. Vince, welcome to our studio.
Well, thank you, Bob, and let me thank KDY.
Well appreciated. Well, as we talked about before, part of the thing that we want to try and do is let our viewing audience know a little bit more about who Vince Behrens is. So I know you've grown up, you are a native of Oxnard, aren't you?
Right.
Share with us how long your family's been here in Oxnard and how your growing up years were.
Well, I'll be 54 next month, and for me it made a big it was just time for me to run for city council. But basically I came from an Italian background, and we grew up on Hill and Sea, and it was a wonderful neighborhood. I had no problems as a kid growing up, never had any things we had to worry about. You know, there were 7 of us. We all went to Santa Clara, and my grandfather came here from Italy through Colorado, through the coal mines.
What year did your grandfather come?
In the 19s.
Wow.
Yeah. So we settled on C Street. It was actually the last street before, until after the World War II is when really the city expanded. So we run the last street of that time frame when the city was that small.
So the family, like your parents, literally grew up here as
Correct.
Oxnard was starting to grow up a little bit.
I remember as a kid looking at the census, and there was 38,000 people in the city of Oxnard.
Wow.
And we were blown away by the fact that we could not figure out how you could get 38,000 people in the city of Oxnard.
Wow, that must have been unbelievable. So as you shared your schooling, you went through Santa Clara, like many other the people here in, that we've been interviewing, okay? And then after you graduated from there, did you go on to college?
Went off to VC, Oxnard College. I'm the only one in the family that did not get his bachelor's degree, but I sent everybody else through college, through the cleaners, the family business. So I basically just started over from when my father passed away in '88 and just continued on since then.
So you're the patriarch.
I got the gray hair overnight, so I guess that's what happens.
Well, share with us, and you just mentioned the family had many businesses in downtown Oxnard,
Correct.
didn't they?
At one time we had 5 businesses.
Wow, so it was really something. So let me share with our audience, after you graduated from, you finished college, what was your career and what did you do for your day job, shall we say?
Well, how I got started in a lot of this is that I went to work with my father at 4:30 in the morning. My family's in the dry cleaning business, and we used to do the Navy bases. And for me to see my old man, I had to get up in the morning, and I would go to the Navy bases. And from there, I would then I'd go to Santa Clara, and I was an altar boy. And then from there, I'd go to school, and then from there, I'd come back and I'd do my homework at the cleaners and clean up afterwards. So I learned the family trade just because I was the cheapest labor in the city. So at that point in time, that's when my father passed away in '88. I was the only one that knew how to do it, and therefore, guess what? That's how the world works. You know how to work everything and get everything going. So that's where I started my little career, and because I was needed in the family business, I was not able to go off to a 4-year university, and so I sent everybody else off.
Well, that's an unbelievable story unto its own.
Exactly.
Okay?
Yeah.
So now you start. When did you get married and start your own family here?
I got married at the age of 30, and I have a stepdaughter who's my daughter, and so she was 4 when I first met her, and then I have now 2 sons, and I got married when I was 30 years old in '89, and I just have been working ever since, and a lot of the stuff I got involved with was the stuff that my father was involved in. He was in the Rotary and the Knights and all that kind of stuff that says civic engagement.
Now, with all of this background, okay, you have never been in politics before, have you? You've never run for any office?
Nope. The only thing I've come close to was the chair of the Downtown Business Group.
Interesting. So share with us and our viewing audience what has caused you to want to become a candidate for mayor of our city?
City councilman?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Please forgive me.
Someday maybe.
We'll start, in answer to people, and this is live broadcasting, basically we have had all the candidates for mayor in here, so forgive me.
Okay,
This
no problem.
is for candidate for city council that you're running for.
Well, for me, when we first started working on the downtown, when my father passed away, I inherited all those different shoes that he was wearing. And so when we started the downtowners, we got the downtown district going, and it was started because we were having such a lack of anything coming from the fourth floor, and it was very, very frustrating. So we formed these little groups, and eventually to raise money to get the stuff done that we really wanted to get accomplished, because the city was just doing the basic stuff that it required to get the downtown done. So for us, if you're going to have a healthy downtown, you have to start somewhere. And healthy downtowns usually give you a somewhat healthy city, and that's where we were really very frustrated with, because we just couldn't get the trash, the sidewalks clean, all that stuff that says you're serious about opening up your door for business. And so from there, we went into the downtown district. We started the assessment, which was 44 blocks, and that raised almost $600,000 a year. And it's amazing what you can do with $600,000 a year.
So in reality, you might not have run for
Correct.
any elected office, but you've been heavily involved in many of the, shall we say, the Downtown Association and many of the other
Correct.
groups that are trying to get something done in the city.
Yeah, I found myself chairing a lot of the meetings where you would have different groups coming at it from different angles, and eventually we would find some sort of common ground. And I started to run for city council because I didn't see anybody from my downtown group running, and this is the one group that does an incredible amount for downtown and the city as a whole. And it was very frustrating to not see anybody step up from the group to run for city council, because to me it seemed like it was the next step was to be on city council, because we did not have a great relationship with the fourth floor. And I thought, okay, if you're going to do it, now's the time to do it.
Share, you mentioned the fourth floor, so share with the viewers who might not understand what the fourth floor.
Well, the fourth floor is City Hall. Basically, that's where all the councilmen and the mayor is, and the city manager was. And I could not get across to my city manager the importance of what we were trying to do. And it was very, very frustrating to not get phone calls returned and not get stuff accomplished that you thought was just absolutely great, because for the first time we had money. When I first started working on the downtown, it was because Johnny Carson was making fun of us, and I said, we can't continue to do this. And you would go to the fourth floor, and they just would look at you as a young kid, and you're not going to go anywhere with this. So let's not work about it. But what ended up happening was I started getting a whole bunch of people together, different business owners, different property owners that were of similar age, and we started working on just the basics. And I found that if we did the basics usually, regularly, and consistently, eventually what ended up happening was you could get the big picture at the end of the year looked a whole lot better. So when we first started getting all this stuff going, they started to look at us. And once we got we lobbied hard for the assessment district and got it, all of a sudden we had some throw weight. And it really did make a huge difference in the downtown, even for all the different economic meltdowns and everything else that's gone with it, it's still there. And I think that it has a lot of opportunity, and we just need to start working on, as a group, on the city council, start thinking about how the master plan should look for the downtown and where you'd like to see the city as a whole go. So I've lived in 4 different spots in the city, so it's not just the downtown. So it just came around the corner. I said, okay, I'll be 54, and it's about time. I have plenty of time now to kind of work on it, so let's do it.
Wonderful. We need more people like yourself wanting to do things like this.
Mm-hmm.
To the viewing audience and people that you'd like to get in touch with, can you share with them a website and how they might get in contact with you, email address and or telephone number?
Okay. My business is American Cleaners in lovely downtown Oxnard. The phone number is 483-1514. I have a website that's up, and it's Vince Behrens for Oxnard City Council 2012. Let's see, what else am I doing? We're going to have a fundraiser probably here at the end of the month. And we're just trying to get signs out. That's the next big thing. So, I mean, we're going to try and get a lot of stuff accomplished, but it's just a question of getting out there and raising the money.
Well,
I'm finding out as a politician, you just have to keep squeezing and turning arms and stuff like that.
well, you know what? Part of the thing is I've gotten to know you. Just be yourself and just meet as many people as you can. And hopefully what we're doing here today will get your message out to many, many more people. I really want to thank you
Thank you, Bob.
for joining us today, and I can't wish you anything but the best of luck in the upcoming elections.
Well, thank you. Thank you.